Let's imagine for a minute that the Enneagram represents the full color spectrum of our humanity, like a rainbow of our human characteristics and traits and motivations. And that each type is represented by a color. Now, one of the reasons that it can be kind of tricky to find our type is that within each type or each color, there are various shades. So in the Enneagram world, we call this subtypes. But for each type, there are 3 distinct shades of that type, shades of that color, we could say. Kind of simplifying it in this way, but I think it's a good mental representation. So each subtype looks distinct. I personally, I like this. It helps to account for some of the nuances of our humanity. It's why you can find people of the same type that really present very differently energetically, behaviorally. They're both 2s, but they don't necessarily both present in the same way. We could say that they're different shades of blue, right? So this can make it a little bit tricky when it comes to finding a type, because one shade of 2 can look a lot like a 9, or one shade of a 7 could look a lot like a 3. And so it makes it a little bit tricky. So within each type, there are these 3 subtypes, and that is, so we could really say that there are 27 different types. Now, again, this may seem a little overwhelming if you're just coming to know the Enneagram. It's like, that sounds like a lot of work to try to figure out. But here's the thing. Like I said before, it's better to be asking the question and exploring parts of ourselves, because that's really what the tool is all about. But there's something really profound about landing on your particular type and subtype. So when you find yourself amongst the 27, a whole world of exploration can open up for you. And for many people, they have the experience of, oh my gosh, okay, that explains so much. I know for myself that was the case. Finding my type was illuminating for sure. But when I discovered what my particular subtype was, it just explained so much. And it helped to uncover why I was getting stuck in certain areas of my business and my life. Like why I couldn't seem to get past this particular point was all to be found in my subtype. So I'll share a little bit more of my personal experience with the Enneagram later. But part of what I want you to know is that there are these various colors and these shades of colors, and it's great to be in the exploration. And when you land on your particular shade, it might just blow your mind. Right? So it can be really helpful to work with somebody who understands the subtypes to help discern between which type you are. The other thing I want to say about that is that each particular subtype has a very particular path of growth. So one person's growth isn't another person's growth. And what is the inner work of one type is going to be very distinct from another type. So again, that's the good news. Once you land on your particular type and subtype, there are very distinct things that you can do to grow, to do the inner work, to go beyond the confines of your personality and into a whole new range of motion, we could say, like whole new ways of being and moving through the world. Greater freedom and greater power when you can go beyond what has previously limited you. All right, that's all I want to say about that for now. I'll be back to share a little bit about my own experience with the Enneagram and what I've taken from it, and how you might find your particular path of growth as well.